Is there a doctor in the house? Is there a medic among us? Ha ha! Hey, hello, Noble Rick here. Today I sculpt Among Us Medic. Let's start with a sketch. 2 figures. Stay tuned because I didn't finish that sketch. Watch to the end how I actually make that scene. As I go along, I added a couple of other colors. I added gray for, well, you'll see how I used it. And I added tan as well to the color selection you had just seen a moment ago. Now this video may seem a little long. It's actually one of my shorter videos, but I didn't speed this one up as I have done in others. So if you get bored at any moment, just fast forward, because when I get to the blue figure, which I'll be making the same as I made this one, I will wax philosophical. You may want to hear that. If you don't want to hear that, then fast forward all the way to the end. You may enjoy to see how I make this scene. I think it's kind of clever. Now she's basically a light bulb shape, the head bigger than the body, but not much more. I guess we'll call it a she. This is the medic. There's a bit of dirt in there. Ah! Polymer clay is notorious for picking up lint and dirt seemingly out of nowhere, so bear that in mind. So be mindful of that. Wash your hands often, clean your station often, etc., etc. Alright, I'm making a cylinder here. Cylinder helps me to eye the volume. I want to cut this one in half. This is the third that I cut off of the main mass. The other third was the body, or rather the other 2/3 was the body. This third will be of the other 2 parts. Ugh, a little bit of clay there. Let's get that off of there. Clay of another color. Alright, so this... Alright, this will be... Get that out of the way. There, get over there. Alright. This will be the legs. And the other one that I had to wrestle to stay still will be the backpack, the pack that goes on the back. Here I'm making the feet, making the toes. I intended to make this sort of pigeon-toed, both figures pigeon-toed. Let's create a crease, the fold in the cloth just above the feet. I'm making the legs kind of long, anticipating that they will squish into size when I squish them into the body. It's a good idea to keep that in mind with the body itself. It will probably squish a little bit too as I squish the legs on. And squish them both on. Alright. Let's fix that sagging belly. There we go. No sagging bellies here, thank you. Alright, let's have her bend down, look down a little bit. This is the medic. Have her look at the wound that is on the blue figure that I will be making soon. A wounded blue figure. Here's the backpack. Let's square that off, or box it off. Mix it into a box. Alright, I'm going to use the tool, the shaft of the tool, to flatten the facets, to make it more like a box. The backpack, the pack that goes on the back. And let's stick it on. Almost together, almost all together. I will add an arm to this figure. I know Among Us figures don't have arms normally in the game. I took a couple of liberties, if not more, with this design, this scene that I am creating. Alright, so I'm making this figure just like the other. 1/3 off, and the other main part will be the body. So let's wax a little philosophical, shall we? Now, what I'm about to say is not commentary on the game Among Us, but is unrelated to the game. In history, there are two sayings, and they're basically saying the same thing. One is a positive version of the saying, and the other is the negative version. The positive version says, "Do unto others as you would have them do to you." That is the positive saying because it tells you to do something. The negative saying is the opposite. It says, "Do not do unto others what you would not have them do to you." This, of course, is the golden rule. I think it's a pretty good rule to live by, don't you think? Here's a statement that you might find wild, but this is something I believe. I believe that human life is greater than even the stars. The universe is filled with wonders. Stars so big that a human being, even our planet, seems to be insignificant, virtually non-existent in size compared to the biggest star. But a human life, I argue, is much more complex than a giant ball of gas. Oh, of course, we need the sun to physically live. But human life, I think, is more important. Human life, I believe, is the most important thing in the physical universe. I believe human life is more important than dreams, than wishes, than ambitions, than ideals. Don't get me wrong, I believe that we should have dreams, and that we should have wishes, that we should have ambitions, that we have good ideals. But I believe human life is more important than these. So what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say, be good to one another, care about people, value people. As I was putting this project together, I was listening to the atrocities that goes on in the world, the horrors that are still alive today, or that still exist today. Slavery, real slavery, genocide. These things are going on today in the 21st century. So that's why I'm waxing philosophical. Alrighty. Nearly got the two figures put together. These remaining colors, I'll make the rest of the scene. What am I making here? Well, let me say that the red and the white will be an accessory. The little off-white is actually glow clay. That clay will be the visor for each of the characters. What I'm making here is a medical thingy. It's used by doctors throughout history, for quite a long time at least. I'm making it very, very thin. This stuff is absorbed by the human body, I think. At least not the clay, but what this clay is signifying, or trying to act as if it is. This is thread, basically. I'm making thread. And there's a certain kind of thread I think that the human body absorbs when it's used as stitches. Don't quote me, I'm not a medical expert. Trying to make this as thin as I can get it, because it's going to be thread after all. It's going to be the blue figure's stitches. So let's stitch them together. Watch how I do that. I'm eyeing the right amount of size, and I got better at this as I got through a few of them. Went through a few stitches. I got better at eyeing it, getting the size right. Came to it. I'm also finding that my mat had a place where it stuck on the mat more than it did my knife. Basically the middle part there, underneath the figures. And I'm learning as I go along too that to put the thread up against it and cut it off in the on the figure. I think that was the easier way to do it, rather than cutting it off on the mat. Eyeing it to size, which is what I'm doing there. Putting his stitches together. Now, of course, Among Us is a game, and in the game, characters are often bisected, and this fellow here, I'm going to have him survive the bisection. And I got a belly button on this one. No, that's not a belly button. I'll have his belly button on there later. And I know that's not in the game either. I'm picking a bit of liberties here with this design. This is the baby version of the Among Us figure. See, it's not sticking to the mat more than it is to my blade, that particular part of the mat. Let's stitch him up here. Okay, now I got a band-aid on him, and I got the figures going into the oven. And now that they're solid and baked, let's glue them together. The little stand that I got under their feet, I tried to make it look like the med bay in the game. I've seen pictures. Let's use the tweezers. Tweezers makes it easier. Handy are tweezers. Tweezers are handy. That was not a Yoda impression, by the way. Alright, let's get them situated. Get them staged like I'd like to have them. Get them posed, if you will, like I like them to be. I use crazy glue to glue these guys on. I'm sanding the feet of the blue guy because he wasn't standing upright. You can sand them at an angle too if you want the character to lean forward or lean backwards. Trying to determine how I want them to stand there. Of course, the medic in the pink there is applying the band-aid. So the arm has got to touch the band-aid. The one arm that she has. And there it is. The Among Us medic. Say that 5 times real fast without tongue twisting. I hope you enjoy this. Alright, take a look at him in space. The Among Us medic. Hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for watching.